Mass casualty incident, we were discussing about mass casualty incident management. In that, we are going to discuss about the triage, particularly what exactly is a triage and how to categorize the casualties in the triage. So let me share my screen. So screen share ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. One moment. Yeah. So slides visible ಇದೆಯಾ?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. Fine. So we were discussing what is triage and triage, when to do triage and how to do triage. So I have discussed in lengthy mass casualty incident management. What exactly is mass casualty incident management? So in that, the triage means to say it's a process which the priorities are set for the management of mass casualty. ಇದೊಂದು French term ಇದ್ರ the meaning of the term is pick and choose. Like based on the severity of the injury, we shift the casualties to the hospital. We will not be shifting everyone to the hospital. That's what the triage is all about. So how to categorize and what are the categorize? So when the triage is done, the triage is done when the casualty number is exceeds the number of skilled resources. So in disaster management, we need volunteers and we need more than volunteers, we need skilled or trained volunteers. So skilled resources or the rescuers are the asset during a disaster management. So when the casualty number is very high compared to the skilled resources, we follow the triage. So what are the types of triage? We do triage primarily at the site of the scene. For example, Odisha train accident incident. If you remember that incident, at the site of the scene itself, the primary triage is done. So what is secondary triage? For example, a person at the primary level might have done a mistake in selecting the priority. So at that time, we do the secondary triage at the hospital level. So next time, whenever you visit any big hospital or a government hospital, district hospital, or any private hospital for that matter, you can ask them where is a triage area. They will show you the triage area. Triage means to say one big hall will be there where whenever they receive many number of patients, they will place there and they will examine them, they will assess them based on the severity of injury, they shift them. So secondary triage is done at the hospital level, primary is done at the scene only prior to the moment. Okay, so that is the triage protocol is start means to say start triage and immediate categorizing it. So what is priority 1, what is priority 2 and priority 3, and how many are dead, which we are going to decide now. So priority 1, priority 2. So this is the scene. Let us assume it's again it's a mock drill, a scenario that has been done. If you imagine this as a mass casualty scene area, so how exactly we do the triage? So triage coding is done based on the color. The color is primarily red, base same as traffic signal. So red, yellow, and green. Red indicates category 1. So red color tagged patient should be shifted to the hospital immediately without any delay. They should be treated in the golden 1 hour. So the priority 1 means to say red in color. Priority 1, yesterday we were discussing about the first aid. Today what we are discussing is about mass casualty management. So priority number 1 is the red color. So we put the red color tag if we have a tag. If you don't have a tag, we can just write on the hand also as category 1. So whenever the ambulance or the paramedics arrives to the scene, so based on that, we can shift the casualties. So that is immediate, urgent, delayed, and dead. So red, yellow, green, and black color tags will be used. Red means to say first priority. Yellow means to say second priority. For example, if someone is finding a noisy breathing, he's breathing, noisy breathing, semi-conscious, internal injury, bleeding profusely, such cases comes under the red. Yellow means fracture, bleeding, abrasion injury, where the person is fully conscious. So we put them under the yellow category. The green is the category 3, The category 3 means minor injury. So minor injury cases, there is no need to shift the minor injured cases, and we have to provide a first aid. And first priority is given to red and yellow category. And dead, black tag we will be putting for dead. So we will not be shifting. These are the triage tags, and this is about the triage protocol. So it's a French term which is meaning is pick and sort. Pick and sort means to say select. So when you classify the victims in order to assign the priority, so it is very important to select the priorities, the triad. So triad categories we just discussed now: red, yellow, green, and black. So if someone is dead, body is opened after a disaster, building collapse. There is a building collapse that happened, and if you have seen someone who is having a severe injury, bleeding profusely, and body is opened, the chances of his survival is zero. When the body is opened, whether it's abdomen or the head, the chances of survival will be very less. So for them, we put deceased, matlab black color tag. We will not be shifting. We have shortage of resources there. For example, ambulance we have 10. There are 100 injured people. Hospital, nearby hospital only 2. So then we will not be shifting dead people. Immediate means to say severe. Second category is delayed. The third category minor injured. And minor injured are the one who needs actually more of counseling. You can give them water. You can make them to sit on the scene there itself. They can take a rest. You can provide them first aid, but no need of shifting. If you shift everyone to the hospital, you are shifting the problem from the disaster area to the hospital. Hospital will be under total chaos, and it will be out of control. So you can see a red tag here. I mentioned red tag. You can make out in the picture, which mentions immediate priority. So immediate priority means to say red. It will be treated as a utmost priority or the first priority. So immediate priority will be given. So in case of any such emergency, and they will be shifted first to the hospital. Before doing anything, they will be shifted to the hospital. Okay. So these are the triage category: immediate, delayed, minor, and the deceased. So delayed matlab, if he is having a fracture, we can delay for 1 hour if we don't have access to shift him immediately. If we don't have sufficient number of ambulances, we can delay that so to 1 hour. That is delayed. Minor injured people are the one who are difficult to manage because they will be shouting. They are fully awake. They are having pain, and they will be demanding attention because they are fully awake. A person who is unconscious cannot demand an attention. He cannot shout and cry also. But you should be we should be shifting them on the first priority. So minor injured are the one who can create a maximum scene at the site of disaster, do the mass counseling, give them food and water if required, and give them first aid first, relieve their pain. No need of shifting to the hospital immediately. Once a situation settles down, we can shift them. So majority of the cases when there are minor injured people are there. For example, I was mentioning about the Gujarat Bhuj earthquake. During Gujarat Bhuj earthquake, there are thousands of people who are minor injured. So for them, what the Gujarat government did at the time was 2001, they removed the seat buses. I mean to say they removed the seats of the buses, and that was converted into the mobile first aid unit. All these minor injured was treated inside the bus only. So the when you remove the seat buses, it's like a moving hospital only. So all the volunteers, nurses were deputed to each of these buses. 300 buses were used to convert that into first aid, mobile first aid unit, and minor injured people were treated there. The person with a red tag who was severely injured was airlifted using helicopters. They airlifted the delayed people. They delayed injured. If possible, they sent by road, and some were sent by the helicopters also. So please remember, immediate means to say red category means to say he needs treatment, surgical intervention, operation theater facility should be done within 1 hour. So with beyond 1 hour, he cannot survive. If there is internal bleeding that's happening, We have to stop immediately, otherwise he may not survive. So remember that category. Immediate means red. So when we put this tag, if you don't have a tag, we can just write on the reverse side of our hand. Matlab, on the hand we can write category 1, category 2, category 3, and category 4. So generally category 1 indicates what? Red priority. For example, let us assume we are traveling in a train. Okay? So suddenly the train meets with an accident or derailment, or something has happened there, and we are completely fit and fine, but we don't have first aid kit with us, but we don't have any equipment with us. We want to help the injured people. So how we can help? Do the triage. So how we can help? If there are more than 10, 15, or hundreds of people who are injured, identify who needs assistance first, because once the ambulance staff arrives to the scene, they cannot examine each and every patient. If they start examining every case, the shifting will be delayed for hours together. For example, if they spend 1 minute of time to examine a person, so if there are 100 injured people, it will be 100 minutes, more than 1.5 hours. So 1.5 hours, they cannot delay shifting. So the role of the ambulance is to shift, not to examine, not to provide first aid. They have to shift as early as possible, as safely as possible to the hospital for the red coded people. For remaining people, there are volunteers or the officers who can take care of. So they will be in the shock. If they have the compromised airway, an immediate case should be started. If they have the compromised airway, if they are in the shock, they comes under the red coded one. Yellow, it comes under second priority. Urgent care is needed, means they can wait till all the red category injured people, injured persons are shifted to the hospital. So they can deteriorate to red category if you delay. For example, a person with a fractured leg, if he is having a severe pain, and if you delay that, so he may go for shock, he may go for unconsciousness also. So maximum they can wait up to 1 hour. The treatment can be delayed up to 1 hour if you don't have a proper access to the ambulance or vehicles or the hospital facility nearby. That is yellow coded. So remember the yellow code, that's a second priority. The treatment will be delayed for some time. The reason of delay of the treatment is we have the lack of resource. The green coded is the third category, walking wounded we call it as. They will be walking around. They demand your attention. They just hold you and say that, sir, I need help. They will ask for help. So you can provide them help. It's not that you cannot say that, no, no, you are minor injured, we are not going to treat you. No, not like that. You can assign the volunteer to handle them. You can ask them to sit down there. You can prepare. That's what the command post is set for. In case of a major disaster, the command post or the tents will be made there on the side to take care of the wounded there itself, the minor wounded. So care can come later for them. However, needs a monitoring for any signs of deterioration. So green are the one really fussy to manage. They are the one who are injured but with a severe pain. They have the pain, but they don't have any life threatening injuries. In such a situation, we have to provide them counseling, we have to provide them first aid, we have to give them water, or we have to provide whatever the necessary help is required for them. They might have lost their family members, they may searching for family members, so you can help them to find out the family members or their belongings. So you can provide a kind of a counseling to them for the green injury, but no point in shifting them to the hospital. They didn't need a hospital attention. They can be treated on the field, provided you have the volunteers and the facilities on the field. Okay, so the mass casualty incident management system is about uh, is about I'm sorry. So this is a video. We'll try to play this video later. Okay. So incident mass casualty incident management system is basically about uh, the coordination between the field team, the mobile team. Mobile means to say the ambulance, and the hospital team. as well as the administration. There should be coordination. You cannot say that the hospital is unaware that you are sending 100 people. Hospital are saying that we don't have this, we don't have doctors, we don't have anesthetists. No, not like that. So hospital also should be prepared. All the people, all the personnel of the hospital, if they are on the leave, if they are on the off duty, they should be called in for the providing services. So they have a shift duty. As you know, hospital doesn't have holidays. So they don't have holidays. They work in shift basis. So when they work in shift basis during such disaster, so the protocol is all the person who are off duty also will be called in for the duty. They also should come forward to respond to the disaster, and provided the field team can do a proper triaging, proper segregation should be done, and then only they can shift the persons properly. Okay. Then comes a black. Okay. So black means to say the people who are already dead. So generally the black means to say the persons who are about to die or who have already lost their life. Okay, and how just have a look regarding this slide. Give me a minute, please. Let me connect the charger. The battery is getting down. That the people who are already dead. So we have a video. I'm trying to play the video related to the triage. So let's see if it plays. It's well and good. Okay. So black coded who are dead. So nowadays the protocol is 108. You may be aware that they will not be shifting any dead bodies. In case of an accident, if someone is dead, they will not shift, because ambulance is not meant for shifting a dead bodies. It is meant to provide the help to a person who is severely injured, because it is equipped with oxygen, it is equipped with a trained manpower, it is equipped with a defibrillator also. So all these equipments which is there inside this ambulance can help injured. The person who is dead can be sent with other vehicle. So we have to have a respect for the dead bodies. It's not that we are not taking care of the dead body, but first priority in mass casualty management for severely injured, less severely injured, and minor injuries. Okay. All right. We'll go to the next part. That is how to do triage. So how to do uh, begin by assessing all the non-moving patients. So when we assess in any mass casualty, we try to look for assessing all the non-moving patients who are not moving. We try to check them first. So begin to assess by all non-moving patients where they lie. This is again one of the bomb blast scenario. Let me play this video. Let's see, does it plays? No, it's not playing. The link is not missing. Okay, no problem. We'll go to the next part. So triage is about start means simple triage and rapid treatment. So rapid treatment can be provided by at the hospital level when we do the simple triage. So can be performed by individuals, including healthcare, non-healthcare workers also can do this. So because of scarcity of the manpower, all who can perform should participate in the triage. It's not that triage means to say only we have to do or only healthcare professionals have to do. Anybody who is having a knowledge on triage can be a part of this. Okay, right. So how to check? So this is very important. How to check, which we are going to probably discuss in next in further. What we check exactly when we are deciding about the category? We have the category here. So three categories. How do you decide the category? We check for ABC. What is ABC? Airway, breathing, and circulation. We look for the superficial injuries on the body. if the person is breathing or not, the pulsation, whether it is present or not. So we need to have the basic knowledge of checking the pulse, checking the breathing. So this is not a medical knowledge. Checking for breathing, checking for pulse is not a medical knowledge. It's a common knowledge. It's a general awareness everybody should have. And we have to check the pulsation, either radial or the carotid, and we have to check the breathing, like how many breaths per minute. So the what I'm suggesting nowadays is, in your first aid kit you can keep pulse oximeter. Have you heard about pulse oximeter? It is most commonly used during COVID time, pulse oximeter. So in your emergency kit, if you have pulse oximeter, that can give you exactly whether the person is breathing or not, what is the SOP, what is the saturation of oxygen, how many breaths per minute, whether the pulse is present or not, everything can be read in the pulse oximeter. So pulse oximeter nowadays, it is available at every home. During COVID, everyone started using pulse oximeter. Earlier days, the pulse oximeter was only a part of ICU response. In intensive care units will be having pulse oximeter and monitors. Now everyone keeps a pulse oximeter with them, and you can check in case of any emergency. Just put into the fingers. You can make out whether the pulsation is there, breathing is there, what is the saturation of oxygen. Everything it will give the reading within seconds. If you have that, fine. If you don't have that, manually we have to do that. And consciousness, are they conscious? So take less than 1 minute per patient. Please remember, when we do triage, when we check and examine the person during mass casualty, should be less than one per minute. Okay. So this is respiration. How do you check? Look, listen, feel method. Not by keeping our fingers near the nose. That is a wrong technique. The right technique is looking the chest and abdominal movement. Okay. So if there is no respiration, we will label it as black. If it is respired, if it is restored, once you open the airway, how to open the airway? By head tilt or chin lift method. So once we open the airway, if the breathing is restored, we can label as a red. If present breathing rate, if it is more than breathing rate more than 30, if person is rapidly breathing, so we can categorize that into red category. And if it is below 30, and check the blood circulation for the perfusion. All these are technical information. I'm sure that you have a general understanding about this. If you find difficulty to understand, never mind. So only remember the three categories, four categories in triage. Okay, then blood circulation, how to check? So radial pulse can be checked. So how to check the radial pulse? So remember the method, the simple method of checking radial pulse. So this may be absent during any emergencies. So you need to have a knowledge to check carotid pulse. So how to check carotid pulse? We just extend the neck prominent portion. You can feel the carotid pulse on the sides. All right. So this is about the, we check the mental status also. Can he follow the commands? Can he cannot follow the command? And then secondary triage is done at the hospital level. So where there will be a large triage area, they do redo the triage. Okay. So any disasters following Gujarat earthquake, this is one example which I am quoting from the field is 2001 Gujarat Bhuj earthquake. The common injuries were more than 56% of injury was lower extremity, means to say legs. Spinal and the pelvic injury was around 17%. Upper extremity was around 13%. Crush is less than 2, means the person who dead, who are dead, who are died on the spot, less than 2%. So this is about the triage, and uh, this is about mass casualty management. So we discussed this yesterday, and this is again a wrong method of shifting when we do the interventions. So remember the right approach. We discussed this yesterday. I'm just going through the slides again. The first intervention is triage. After the doing the triage, the second intervention is shifting. So care should be taken while shifting the patient, not with a haphazard or whatever the manner. If the people who are trained, definitely they can be provide a proper care and support during such emergency. Then different methods of carrying we discussed yesterday. The cradle method is called as cradle, like how we carry the children's cradle method. So this is again one of the method. Human crutch is again one of the method. Human crutch means you can see on the right side, a person who is having a injury to the leg, the other person is taking support of leg and taking him. It's called human crutch method. Then pick a back method. This is again one of the methods. These are the methods of carrying or shifting the casualty, loading to the stretcher, loading to the ambulance. So then fireman's lift. Yesterday we were discussing about this fireman lift, and this is a very commonly used lift method or shifting method in case of fire emergencies. And when a person is not breathing and unconscious, we will be using this technique. Not breathing unconscious, we will be doing CPR. If a person is unconscious and breathing only, we try to shift him. Okay, there are many other methods. It's again 4.5 method, we call it. There is a disadvantage with this method that only this can be used when a person is having injury in the abdomen and chest region. Then 400 method, yesterday we discussed about this method also. 400 method means we interlock the four hands, we make a human seat and try to shift. This is again fireman's lift, using a chair for the lift. 4.5 method. There are different methods for shifting the casualty easily. It is very important. This part is very important because this part, why it is important during any disasters is if we don't know proper method of shifting, we are aggravating situation. We are not trying to help them. So we can make a stretcher using our hand. We can make a stretcher using blanket. If there are no standard stretcher available at that moment, we can use locally available resources to make the stretcher. Okay, so this completes a mass casualty incident management. We'll be discussing a small other topic. If you have any questions related to this mass casualty incident management and triage, you can please do ask because it's a little bit a technical topic to follow. If you have anything to ask related to this, please do ask. Okay, so before I open to the next presentation, anything you want to ask, you can type and send also in the chat box. Any question related to mass casualty incident management and triage. Okay, there is one more small topic which I will be taking. We are not coming to the end of the session, another 30 minutes time we have. So if you have anything to related to this topic before we switch on to the next topic, so anything to ask, you can just ask. So 2 minutes time is that you have 2 minutes time to ask anything related to this. I'm just checking the chat box. If somebody has typed any questions here, you can please ask the questions. Okay, so just to summarize, the objective of the triage and mass casualty management, the aim of the mass casualty management is to do the best for the most of the people, not everything for everyone. It is not practically possible. If there are hundreds of people who are injured, you cannot help each and every one at that time. You can help everyone probably with taking some time, but the objective of mass casualty incident management is to do the best for the most of the people, not everything for everyone. Okay, all right. Let me go to the next presentation. If you have questions again, you can just share, you can ask, you can clarify your doubts. Anything need to be. It's again a technical topic. We do the mock drill for triage also. If you are interested to be the part of this triage, means to say if you are interested to see how they do the triage, you can like you can, if you have a airport at your district, you can ask the airport authority officer to invite you for uh, the mock drill they conduct. So every month they do one mock drill regarding mass casualty incident management. They have to do the triage, shifting, providing first aid, everything. And in 6 months, they do the big mock drill. In every 6 months, they do the full-fledged mock drill. So both you can be a part of it. Wherever the airports are available, it is mandatory for the Airport Authority of India and the fire brigade, the fire services of the airport to conduct this mock drill on triage and mass casualty incident management. And they have a very strong mechanism to do this. They have prepared the dummy flights. They have prepared dummy casualties. They have prepared dummy many things to simulate the triad. So if you are interested, you can definitely visit. You can ask the Airport Authority of India to invite, because they are bound to probably they will be happy to accommodate you on that. They need more number of volunteers. They need more to respond. So they need observers also to identify uh, what are the, the purpose of the mock drill. When we do it, the purpose of the mock drill is to identify the gaps. So where the gaps was, whether the transportation team means ambulance reported in time, whether the first responders were shifting properly, whether the first responders were tying the triage tag properly. If you don't have a triage tag, we can write on the backside of hand, like 1, 2, and 3 we can write. Don't write on the forehead. So some incidents where there are reports that the people have written on the forehead. So category 1, 2, 3. No, 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 that is wrong. That is disrespect to the human. Have a humanitarian approach for all the aspect. So never disrespect any injured or dead bodies. Also never number the dead bodies on the forehead. So in mass casualty during tsunami, I don't know how many of you remember tsunami 2004, way back 20 years before. So 2004 tsunami was like, if I can remember, our team was working there in Kadalur and Nagapattanam, where the dead bodies were piled up. Dead bodies were piled up. So they started numbering it to find out how many people are dead. So don't never ever numbering should be on the forehead. It should not be on the forehead. Never write that. It should be on the hands only. Okay. So there are no questions were related to this. I'm just going to the next topic. The next we have a small topic. I'll try to play the video related to this. Uh, let's see. So for a moment, I will stop sharing the my screen. I'll open the next presentation. Okay. So simultaneously, if you have anything to ask, you can just ask. If you have anything to share, also you can just share. So during that time, I'm just opening the next presentation. So I'm just opening, trying to open my presentation. Okay. Okay, this is about one of the incident where the mass casualties was managed. This is one of the presentation where LPG tanker got exploded and probably killing many people. So this is about the fire brigade personnel responding and doing a mass casualty management. So how exactly they did, you can make out here. I'm just opening that presentation. Okay. This is about the incident that happened in Perne. I was mentioning about this incident that happened in Dakshina Kannada and Udupi district. So you can just have a look into that. And we have many of such presentations and videos also. Uh, let me open that. Give me a moment, please. Okay, fine. So now we can go ahead with the opening the presentation. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So So this is one of the presentation from the fire department only, and this incident actually like incident that happened with the tanker, LPG tanker. So mass casualty incident management, what they did. So in that they have mentioned and shown here. They have mentioned about the properties associated with the LPG. So you please remember that the hazards that are associated with the LPG is very high. It is not only during the storing. So these hazards can happen during transportation also. So every district there are hundreds of tankers which will be going in the road. And please remember, when one cylinder at home, if it is exploded, is equal to a bomb. Imagine if a LPG tanker on the road, if it's get leaked or exploded, what can happen? Okay, so this is again one of the disaster that sorry, this is again one of the disaster where like it requires a response from various department. Okay, so they are actually directly going into the incident. I'm going to the one of the incident. This is an incident that was reported in 11 January 2008. So if you see this incident, the LPG bullet tanker was near Opinangdi. So it was completely collapsed. And after that, the initial response started with the fire brigade people. And if you can see this, so such transportation disasters can happen any a time. Please remember LPG bullet tanker, which is toppled near the near Mangalore only. You can see this. This is again, it's not a what I can say. As I mentioning, one LPG cylinder, if you can bring down a building, it's equal to almost two and a half a bomb. Imagine what can happen with a LPG bullet. Bullet means to say bullet tanker. Okay, these are the various incident where the response has been done. I will go to directly one incident where mass casualty. There are videos related to this. I don't know this video will play here. Okay. This incident, you can remember the flight crashed during the air show at Bangalore. One of the flight crashed into the parking area, and almost all the car which was parked there catch the fire, and that resulted no people died in this incident, but it was real chaos because it's only a parked vehicle that was under fire. Okay, so this is again a various incident that's been reported from the past. You can see from here. Uh, they are showing one that is incident that happened in 2008. So if you can see here, the collapsed truck which is on fire. So it is really dangerous for fire personnel. You can see in this picture going near to the itself without any personal protective equipment is highly dangerous. Okay, such bullets, LPG bullets, can explode and can bring down whole village. Whole village can. So during such explosion, the mass casualty incident management system should be followed, and the incident commander, the deputy commissioner, will activate the emergency response at the district level. And when he activates the emergency response system, immediately all the agencies which is related to this, first the roads will be, approaching roads will be blocked, evacuation of the nearby facilities will be done, then ambulances will be kept ready, hospitals will be alerted, and they try to contain this. It's very difficult to contain this. Uh, all such kind of uh, gas leakages that can happen with the LPG tankers. This is again one of the incident that happened in in Udupi, Perne. You can see here that was in 2003-13. So LPG bullet fire, and you can see this. The person who is if you see this video, it's very disturbing to see this video. I'm not playing the video here. This person is completely charred, completely burned, and he is walking from this area towards the rescuers. And later he died because he sustained category 3, that is almost on the third degree burn injuries with more than 60% of the body mass covered with that injury. And nearby village means nearby houses also got evacuated. There were many injured people in that incident, in the Perne incident, because whole village catch the fire. There was a gas leakage. The peculiar thing about the LPG gas leakage is it doesn't go in the height. So LPG is heavier than the air. It will be spreading at the lower level. At the ground level only, it will be there. It will be spreading. And LPG basically doesn't have any smell. When it is mixed with a methyl mercaptan or ethyl mercaptan, it gives a peculiar typical smell. So you may have noticed at the home, whenever there is LPG leakage, we can feel the smell of LPG leakage. So they have mixed with the methyl mercaptan for the reason that if there is a leakage to identify, because LPG cylinders are used at the home level also, house level also. So uh, in that incident, particularly, the tanker was actually met with an accident, and later there was a leakage reported. And after that, it happened during the night time, and the leakage was reported, and the whole village which is surrounding was filled with LPG gas. But the fire was not there initially. It was mixed with the surrounding air. But when in the morning, when somebody switched on their stove or switched on the morning when for preparing tea or coffee or anything, it exploded. The whole village got exploded because it was completely surrounded with LPG gas. Okay. So you can see these various incidents, and we don't have pictures related to uh, like the evacuation that's been done. You can see here the houses are completely burnt, which is around, trees are completely burnt. There was a school which is next to this only, next to this road. Wherever the tanker has collapsed, the school occupancy is 800 school children. But luckily, since it has happened during a night time, nothing happened. If it has happened during a daytime, because of the fire and explosion, many number of people, children may have killed in this incident. So it is very important to identify a high risk area. If your college is located in national highway or in an important road, the occupants of the building should be sensitized about the risk they are facing. For example, in a national highway or a state highway, if our college or a school is located, the school children should be sensitized regarding what measures to be taken while they are walking on the road, which side they have to walk, right or left. All the pedestrians should walk on the right side, it is not on the left side. Okay. Most of the schools are located on highway. We have seen school children walking in group, talking to each other, playing sometimes, and vehicles will be moving with a very high speed, and they may end up with a road accident. So if they are walking on the right side of the road, they can see the approaching vehicle, and they can move aside, preventing an accident to happen. So please remember and sensitized about these issues. And particularly, transportation related disasters can happen in any district. Not one or two districts are prone. Almost all the districts are prone for transportation related disasters, because every house requires LPG gas, LPG cylinders. Every household requires an LPG. So how to shift this? What measures should be taken? What care should be taken? I can remember and recollect one incident that happened in Shivamogga. Like uh, in a one truck which is fully loaded with the explosives, they were transporting to nearby site, mine site. When they do the mining excavation, they do the explosives. So they were transporting in a truck, and that truck has entered inside the city. Luckily, nothing happened when it was inside the city. When it is near that excavation site or near the mine, so a sudden explosion happened. The whole truck got exploded. Nearly 8 people killed in that incident. And the sound of that explosion and the pressure of that explosion was felt for hundreds of kilometers. So just imagine, now on that day we were there, perimeter establishment, the district administration responded. Nobody is sure that how many live explosives are there. So it is important to remember that the transportation related hazards, the concerned authorities, the concerned personnel should be sensitized on this issue. Okay. These are the various pictures from that site only. You can see that the Perne village, this is where the Perne village was, like how many houses were burnt, how many. Luckily, no major casualties were reported except the driver and other two persons who died in that incident, died in that incident. Remaining person were got safe in that incident. Okay, this is again a few pictures from the Penne incident that happened. So you can make out that. So all the damage that's been reported, these are the nearby houses. It's not that the truck is has hit this house. No, no, because of the explosion, you can see the syntax tank on the top of the roof is completely burst, completely opened. Wall is completely broken. So assume the impact of this tanker explosion. So these are the hazards. We generally, when we say disasters, generally people tend to think that disaster can happen in other areas, may not happen in our cities. No, it's not like that. The disaster can be a man-made, transportation related disasters can happen, and we need to be prepared. We need to respond. We need to support the district administration and authorities while handling the casualties also. These are the few pictures. It's very disturbing to see the people who died in that incident. uh, I'm sorry to show this, but I'm sorry, this is a part of presentation. You can see that many people who died in that incident, Penne incident. Okay, all right. So this is about how the five people rescued, and other things are there in this presentation, which is not required for us. Please remember that what is more important to remember in this part of the presentation, the purpose of showing this presentation is very important to remember that in case of any emergencies, it is very important to be well prepared. If you are well prepared, we can manage it very effectively. And transportation related disasters can happen in any districts. It can happen in any place also, like LPG tanker, when they are transporting to the nearest facility to the particular town. These things can happen. Okay, so this is about a small presentation related to the LPG tanker, the transportation related disasters. So I'll come back to the next topic. If you have anything to share, anything to ask, you can please do ask me. So we were discussing about the mass casualty incident management, and we were discussing about particularly on the issues that is related to the mass casualty incidents. So mass casualties incident may not be like happen during terrorist attack, not in bomb blast. These bomb blasts can happen during LPG tanker explosion also. There will be hundreds of people who will be injured, and train accident, as we discussed, it's quite common that can happen. Okay, all right. So anything to ask, you can please do ask. Any questions, anything related to that. During drowning management, I think we discussed yesterday. I don't remember have we discussed these issues yesterday. Let me share a brief presentation related to that also, related to the mass casualty management. Okay, so please remember the emergency number in case of any such disasters. All these emergency numbers are very important to remember. If we cannot assist or if we cannot help anyone at that time, at least we can make a call to the emergency numbers, and we can uh, bring it to the notice of the emergency responders to uh, come forward and help. So emergency, the national emergency number of ERSS, emergency response support system in India, is 112. So please remember that emergency number. And the common case of drowning was I was mentioning yesterday. The slides were haphazardly placed. You can just have a look here regarding the drowning part. Management of the floods were very important. Never enter inside the water when you are rescuing someone who is drowned in the flood. So we can use board, we can use rope also to rescue. We can use floaters. Yesterday we discussed about this. Improvised life jackets can be used. So improvised life jacket can be prepared using locally available material. So non-contact rescue in case of floods are the best method of rescue. So non-contact rescue can be done using locally available material, or we can keep prepared also. So this is one of the preparedness for a flooding, urban flooding particularly. If you are shifting someone, we can use a plastic cans. A 15-liter plastic cans can be used to make a life jacket or a floater device. Even a water bottle also. I think I have not shown this picture yesterday. A Pepsi bottle, a cola, Pepsi container, pressurized containers can be used to make a life jacket. We can tie it around the waist. We can tie it around the chest to make it like a life jacket. This is one of our training picture only. In this picture, you can make out that the local villagers are trained to prepare using locally available material. It's not that they are using any standard life jacket. So they have been trained to prepare using locally available rope and waste plastic bottles. So the plastic bottle, they have closed the cap, and so it's a simple physics. When they tie it around the chest and waist, it will float. So even a person who is not uh, aware about swimming, in case of emergency, we can make use of these materials to shift the to rescue the persons. Then next will be this is again one of the sorry, this is again one of the picture from our trainings only. They have the the person at the center is wearing the standard life jacket. The person on the either side, they are wearing the floater. We call it as improvised life jacket or floater, made up of Pepsi and cola bottles. So this can be converted into life jacket. And if someone doesn't know swimming, see, nowadays the common cases of drowning is reported not during rainfall season, not during flooding. It is reported during normalcy. College students entering into the water, which they are unaware about the risk there, and they are getting drowned. If someone doesn't know the swimming, they can use such materials as a life jackets. They can prepare it. They can jump. There is one more easy method, that is using a backpack. The college bag is there, na? So that also can be made into a life jacket. So how to convert a college bag or a school bag into a life jacket? Simple. You can put these bottles, instead of tying or tying each other, you can just put this bottle inside the bag, tie the bag from the front side, not from the back side, and tie it around the abdomen. So when we enter inside the water, that acts like a standard life jacket only. It's a simple physics there. Or we can use a football or a volleyball. We can place it inside a college bag. Two volleyballs or a football would be sufficient. If you tie it around the chest, that acts as a life jacket. So we don't need a standard life jacket which may be costing 1,000 rupees, which may not be available at the emergency. We can convert locally available material in case of emergency, and that can be converted into life jackets. Okay, so this is how the drowning. I think yesterday we learned about this. And when we approach for helping someone, the contact rescue, the approach should be from behind, not from the front. If you are approaching, most of the swimmers, or they are expert swimmers, they are not rescuers. So rescuing is again a skill, and a person weighing more than 70 kg, it is very difficult to pull him out of the water. So if we know the proper skill, definitely that can be done. All right. So this is how to drain the water. Again, yesterday we discussed this topic regarding floods. I'm showing this again today because some of the slides of this presentation was missing yesterday. To drain the water, there is a myth to press the abdominal part. So remember, it is not the pressing the abdomen. What is important is we have to drain the water. If you suspect the person has swallowed the water, so we have to put him face down position, start compressing from the shoulder blades. Okay. So mouth to mouth breathing and the CPR is very important part, which we discussed yesterday. Why CPR is important and when CPR is important, all these things we discussed. And the procedure is 30:2 compression at the rate of 100 to 120 per minute, along with the mouth to mouth breathing. In case of drowning, initially we can give fire rescue breathing before we start compressing the chest. Okay. So regarding fire, we just saw the incident of the fire. Remember, there is a LPG helpline number. So most of the people are unaware about this helpline number. In case of LPG leakage at home, you can call this number 24/7. Even in the midnight, there will not be any technician from your gas agency who can come and reach to you to help. If you suspect a gas leakage during a midnight, so you can call this number 1906. It's like 108 only. And they send a technician in the midnight. So they will come and reach to you to help. And they send the technician in the midnight. You can call this LPG helpline number if in case of any LPG related emergencies. That is 1906. Please remember this number. Okay, so this services was started by the government of India way back in 2018, but many of us are unaware about this LPG helpline number. And during LPG gas leakage, first thing is don't try to switch on or off any of the switches. Don't try to touch the switches at all. Second, don't use the mobile near the LPG. Wherever there is a LPG leakage, don't use the mobile. Okay. The third thing is, if try to cool the cylinder. How to cool the cylinder? You can use a blanket, soak it with the water, soak it around the LPG cylinder. If the LPG cylinder is on the fire, don't try to run. It will not explode immediately. So only when it reaches a temperature more than 800 degrees, so the cylinder will explode. So this can happen maybe after 15 to 20 minutes if it is left unattended. So try to cool the cylinder. So try to cool the cylinder, try to switch off the flame. It is easy. You can use locally available materials like blanket, like bucket can be used to control the fire. Bring the cylinder outside and you can place it in an open area. And you can place it in an open area and call the emergency helpline number. You can call the fire brigade also. See, fire brigade is not only meant for fire, it is meant for all the emergency services. If someone is drowning in water, you can call fire brigade. In case of fire, definitely will call fire brigade. If you notice that during a rainy season, electric pole has fallen on the road, there is a live wire, you can call the fire brigade. So fire brigade are equipped with a advanced rescue vehicle. They are having ARVs. The advanced rescue vehicle will be equipped with a heavy duty cutters. These heavy duty cutters can cut and cut open these vehicles also if the vehicle is jammed after a road accident. So they have all these equipments in their vehicle. That's called advanced rescue vehicle. So do not hesitate to call the fire services during emergency. You can call 112 and ask for fire service. You can call 101 also for the fire service. So remember the fire brigade number, remember the police number. Police number is earlier it was 100. Now, if you call to the 100, they may not respond because 112 is considered to be the standard number. Or you can, in the social media also, you can post. In the Twitter, every district 112 is having a Twitter handle. Twitter accounts are there. In the Twitter also, you just take a photograph of the incident, what happened, and post it, and there will be a response because all the officers are monitored who are part of the 112. All the vehicles are fitted with the GPS. The vehicle movements are located, the nearby vehicle will be immediately sent for the help. Okay. So remember the emergency number. In case of road accident, don't just call only for ambulance. I can recollect one incident that happened in National Highway near in between Belgaum and Hubli. So if you see the highway, the National Highway 4, NH4 between Hubli and Dharwad, it's a single road. So there was a major accident. A truck has collided with another truck. Okay? And at that time, somebody called, there was a huge traffic jam going up to kilometers, and somebody called 108. When the ambulance arrived to the scene, they were unable to open the doors. The reason is because of the impact of the collision, the truck, the front part of the truck was completely collided, and the driver was trapped inside. So it requires a heavy duty cutter. Later, the call went to the fire brigade and the heavy duty cutter. So in case of a national highway also, they have emergency numbers. So please remember that emergency number for the national highways. They have the national highway emergency number, which I will share you in the presentation at the end of the presentation. So national highway emergency numbers also you can call. You can call 112. You can call 108. So please do call. Don't hesitate to call. So they will ask your details. You can boldly you can give your details, your phone number. Nobody is going to trouble you. To reach you as early as possible, they will be collecting your details. So you don't have to sign any document. You don't have to go to the police station to report a complaint. You don't have to go to the court to for submission of evidence. So nowadays the law is changed. There is something called Good Samaritan law, which everyone is aware. 2016, the government of India has passed act. 2016, the Supreme Court of India has passed a rule that during any such emergency, saving lives takes utmost priority. The rule, I mean to say, the law and the legal aspect comes later. So nobody can harass you, no police can harass you asking for signing for any document, FIR or complaint or whatever. So you can directly reject signing any document. There is a provision in the law for the first responder who can reject. You can appear, you can reject for appearing to police station. If they want to collect information, if you happen to be there at the time of accident, you can, they can make a telecall, means to say they can make a video call and you can submit evidence also. So the rule is changed. Please sensitize about this rule to your students about the Good Samaritan rule, because in India, every year more than 1,60,000 people are dying in the road accident due to the lack of help, due to lack of proper help, due to people are afraid about the legal system, they are afraid about the police and the court. So now the things are changing. 2016 onwards, particularly related to emergency response, you can boldly come forward and help. You can shift the injured in your vehicle. You can admit him to the private hospital. Nobody can demand money also at that time. Okay. So please remember the provisions of the Good Samaritan rule. You can download that document also. So I'll stop here. So if you have any questions, you can please do ask. These are various our trainings. Okay, fine. So I'll stop here. So please do ask any doubts or any questions, anything you want to ask. Okay. So if you have any questions, please do ask. So let me summarize what we learned in the 2 days in the afternoon session. Yesterday, we learned about first response, how to do first aid, how to do CPR, how to help injured, how to shift a casualty. We learned about those topics. Today, we learned about a very interesting, I think a bit of complicated topic to understand is about the MCI, mass casualty incident management approach. And we learned about triage. We learned about, I was just sharing one example of a LPG tanker explosion and how devastating the impact of the LPG tanker explosion and what it can cause. And further, we discussed a little bit about the helpline numbers which we have during any such emergency. So another 2 minutes we have. So you please can ask any questions or any doubts, anything you want to share, or any opinions you want to tell, anything. You can unmute your mic. You can directly ask a question, or you can type a question also in the chat box. Okay. Okay. Any questions are there in the chat box? Anybody typed any questions? Anything to ask? Please do ask. So I was just mentioning about the National Highway Emergency number. The National Highway Emergency number is uh, 1033. That's the National Highway Emergency number. If you happen to travel in on the national highways, if you come across any emergency situation on the national highway, you can call, you can report to 112. At the same time, you can call 1033 because they will be reserving these vehicles. They have the vehicles nearby toll only. They have this vehicle, and as you know, every 30 to 40 kilometer we have a toll now. Toll plaza will be there. They will be collecting money, and they are bound by responding in such emergency. And there is one more number for the disaster management, that is 1078. So remember the number, that disaster management, and 1033 for the national, that is for the national highways. So any questions? I'm unable to see the chat box here. Hope no questions are there. Okay. No questions are there. All right.
Sir, shall I propose a word of thanks to you, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah, good evening, one and all. This is Dr. Vikram from JSS Institute of Aviation, Sakleshpur. I would like to propose a vote of thanks to Dr. V.L.S. Kumar, sir. He has enlightened us from last 3 hours with so many aspects regarding disaster management. We are very much enlightened with his thoughts. Thank you so much, sir. I propose a vote of thanks on behalf of HRDC, University of Mysore, on behalf of all the participants present over here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.